we're in Toronto.
You see him?
Can go there. So.
他摆烂了，不开摆了。
看出来了，哎呦喂，出来吧，小五，哎，出来，小脸，
我要回去了，哎呦，
我要过去了。
哎呀，好不容易。
What are you doing? Do it.
Oh my god.
Mimi，
You're welcome.
Are you coming all the way through? Oh my goodness. 小菊儿这两天是不是没吃好？
早起来个你人，过来。His name is John C. Ready?
Происходит. Бойся, пожалуйста.
Drugs.
No, we're okay.
Drugs.
Cat randomly do front flips when they rub against a wall.
Oh
You
my
scared.
god.
You got scared.
Oh my.
Aww.
Mine will come tomorrow. Whose cat is Oh, baby. Oh my gosh, she's tiny.
Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancer.
She's tiny.
Hello, dear audience. I would like to tell you a story. If it makes you uncomfortable, please feel free to skip it and watch other videos on my channel. There are many other funny videos waiting for you to explore. Thank you. A Tale of a Puppy's Journey from Shy to Shocker. Part 1. The Arrival of a New Friend. 3 months ago, I brought home a small, fluffy puppy named Max. He was a little bundle of joy, but at first, he seemed so nervous and unsure of his new surroundings. I remember the day I adopted him. His eyes were wide with wonder, but you could tell he was apprehensive about leaving the shelter. He had been in the same kennel for months, and now, here he was in a completely new world. The first few days were peaceful, or so I thought. Max would stick by my side, not straying too far from me. He would curl up on the couch, looking at me with those big brown eyes, as if asking, "What now?" He was the perfect companion, calm and obedient, and I was already starting to fall in love with him. But I could tell there was something special about him, something that would make him more than just a calm pup. I started to notice small signs of curiosity. Max began to explore the house, cautiously sniffing corners and occasionally darting around when he heard strange noises. But I had no idea just how mischievous he would become as time went on. What began as a quiet pup quickly evolved into a whirlwind of energy and curiosity. Part 2. The Growing Pains of Mischief. As the weeks passed, Max began to shed his shy demeanor, and what replaced it was a ball of energy that couldn't stay still for more than a few seconds. It started with little things like chewing on a slipper or knocking over a cup from the table. I thought it was just part of the puppy phase, so I tried to correct his behavior gently. But Max had other plans. One day, I returned home from work to find my house in chaos. Cushions were scattered everywhere, pieces of toilet paper were torn to shreds, and the once neat living room was now a disaster zone. Max was sitting proudly in the middle of it all, tail wagging furiously, as if he were saying, "Look, Mom, look at what I did." His expression was one of pure joy, as though he had just completed the greatest work of art. At first, I was frustrated, but then I couldn't help but laugh. Max was so proud of his work. It was as if he had been waiting all day for me to come back and see his masterpiece. "Max," I said, trying to remain serious, but a smile crept onto my face. "You're going to be the death of me, aren't you?" Max wagged his tail even faster, clearly unaware of my mixed feelings. But the next day, the mischief escalated. Max discovered the trash can. Oh boy, I'm not sure how it happened, but one minute it was standing tall and neat, and the next minute, the contents were scattered all over the kitchen floor. Max had managed to dig through the trash like a seasoned pro, and now he was munching on what looked like an empty chip bag. I walked in to find him with his head inside the bag, and when he saw me, his eyes widened in shock, as if to say, "I wasn't doing anything, I swear." This pattern continued for weeks. Max would chew on anything he could get his paws on: shoes, cords, remote controls, and I found myself constantly replacing things I hadn't thought twice about before. My once orderly home was now a place of constant chaos, all thanks to this adorable little troublemaker. But despite the frustration, I couldn't stay mad at him for long. He had a way of looking at me with those big, innocent eyes, as though he had no idea what he had just done. I began to realize that Max wasn't just a puppy. He was a force of nature. It wasn't just about chewing things up or knocking things over. He had a creative side too. One day, I caught him jumping on top of the couch and then leaping off like a little daredevil. His high-flying stunts had me gasping in surprise, but Max thought it was the greatest game ever. He would run around the living room, trying to chase his tail, tripping over himself in the process. It was like watching a comedian perform stand-up, except he had 4 legs and no sense of timing. Max's mischief wasn't limited to the indoors. One weekend, I took him to the park for the first time, thinking he might enjoy a nice walk. As soon as his paws hit the grass, though, he was off like a rocket. He darted toward the nearest pond, and before I could even yell, "No!" Max had jumped right in, splashing water everywhere and causing an absolute ruckus. People around us laughed, but I was mortified. Max, on the other hand, was having the time of his life, with water dripping from his fur and an expression of pure glee on his face. From that day forward, I knew I had a little adventurer on my hands. Every trip to the park became an opportunity for Max to explore and make new friends. And by friends, I mean the other dogs who were just as rowdy as he was. Together, they'd create mayhem in the park, running in circles, barking loudly, and occasionally stealing each other's toys. Max had no boundaries when it came to playtime. Part 3. The Mischief Maker of the House. Now, 3 months into our journey together, Max has grown into a full-fledged mischief maker. He's still the sweet, affectionate dog I adopted, but now he's a whirlwind of activity. Every morning, I wake up to find my shoes in random places, or my socks mysteriously gone. And if I look closely enough, I can see Max, lying innocently on his bed, as if he's the least mischievous creature in the world. But don't be fooled. He's the mastermind behind it all.